Welcome back, ambitious minds. So, if you've ever felt that really frustrating gap between where you are right now and where you absolutely know you have the potential to be, well, you are in the exact right place. In this explainer, we're taking a very specific journey together. We're going to map out the transition from distraction, stagnation, and maybe just wishing for success to a life of ultimate, unbreakable discipline. And honestly, the math behind this is just staggering. If you just get 1% better every single day, you actually end up 37 times better by the end of the year. 37 times. So, this isn't about some overnight miracle. It's about practical, everyday wisdom. It's about joining the 1% Better Club. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just lay down this core philosophy right up front. Discipline beats motivation. Look, we hear so much about motivation these days, right? But here's the absolute truth. Motivation is totally fleeting. It's just an emotion. Think of motivation like a spark. But discipline? Discipline is the actual engine. That spark, it shows up when the weather's nice, you've had a perfect cup of coffee, and everything's going your way. But it vanishes the second things get hard. Discipline, though, that is the true quiet engine of transformation. It's the dependable force that takes you from zero to hero, day in and day out, completely regardless of how you feel.
Tip 1. Master your mindset. This brings us right into phase 1 of our journey, which is all about laying down the foundation of growth. And listen, it all starts entirely from within. You absolutely have to embrace a growth mindset. That's the fundamental belief that your abilities aren't just fixed at birth. No way. They can and they absolutely will expand with effort, persistence, and just unyielding belief. You've kind of got to wire your brain to accept that effort literally equals evolution. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Henry Ford absolutely nailed the self-fulfilling prophecy of our own beliefs right there. Seriously, if your internal narrative says a task is impossible, your brain is going to actively look for evidence to prove you right, totally shutting down your potential. But if you tell yourself, hey, I can figure this out, you suddenly unlock the mental resources you actually need to succeed. Your mindset literally dictates your reality.
Tip 2, guard your energy and health. Because let's be real, a strong mental framework is basically useless if it's trapped inside a depleted body. You've got to fiercely guard your energy and health. We need to actively protect our sleep, our daily movement, and our nutrition. Too often, especially with ambitious people, we treat these things as, negotiable luxuries or things we can just sacrifice for more work. But they aren't luxuries at all. They are the essential foundation that literally everything else is built on.
Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. This is such a stark reminder from Jim Rohn, and it is absolutely undeniable. Your body is the only vehicle you have to navigate this entire journey of growth. And you can't exactly trade this vehicle in for a newer model when the engine gives out. If you don't maintain that physical bedrock, all those other achievements, all your lofty goals, they're eventually going to collapse under the weight of burnout or illness. Your health? Totally non-negotiable. How do we translate this strong internal foundation into actual, undeniable execution? Okay, so we've got our mindset locked in, right? And we're taking care of our physical engine. But preparation is really just the starting line. The crucial pivot point we face now is how do we take all this internal prep and turn it into real-world execution? It's time to pick up the tempo. Let's move out of the internal stuff and jump into phase 2, focus and systems. Tip 3, prioritize deep work. We live in a world absolutely obsessed with pinging notifications and just shallow busyness. You have to prioritize deep work. Answering emails, scrolling feeds, sitting in endless back-to-back meetings, sure, it feels like work, but it rarely moves the needle on what actually matters. To truly grow, you have to block out dedicated, completely uninterrupted time for focused, meaningful work. This is literally the only space where you build real, tangible, highly valuable skills. Clarity about what matters provides clarity about what does not. Cal Newport offers such a profound insight here. Clarity is an absolute superpower, guys. When you are crystal clear on what actually drives your growth, that deep, focused work we just talked about, it suddenly becomes incredibly easy to spot all the distractions and those shallow tasks for what they really are. Cutting out the noise isn't about depriving yourself. It's about protecting what actually matters. Tip 4. Build systems, not just goals. And where does all that deep focus go? Into building your systems. Now, this is a massive perspective shift. Goals are great, don't get me wrong. They show you the destination. They give you a direction to point your compass. But goals do not do the driving. Systems get you there. It's those consistent daily habits that compound over time to create absolutely extraordinary results. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Wow. James Clear permanently reframes how we need to view our daily routines right there. You can have the most ambitious, lofty goals in the entire world, but under pressure, or on a random Tuesday when your motivation is basically zero, you're not going to magically rise to that ambition. You will fall right back on whatever daily systems and habits you've actually built. If your systems are weak, your results are going to be weak, period.
Tip 5, invest in relationships. All right, with our execution systems up and running, it's time for phase 3, expanding boundaries. And listen, you cannot do this alone. You must invest in your relationships. The people around you actively shape who you become. You have to really curate your environment and surround yourself with individuals who challenge you, who inspire you, and who genuinely support your growth trajectory. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Jim Rohn captures the mathematical reality of influence right here. Take a second and just evaluate your own inner circle right now. Think about it. Who are those 5 people? Are they pushing you to be 1% better, or are they kind of keeping you comfortable in stagnation? Your environment is either an accelerator or it's an anchor. So choose your average wisely. Tip 6. Be a relentless learner. Just as you upgrade your circle, you've got to upgrade your mind by becoming a truly relentless learner. Ambition needs constant fuel. To grow, you've got to read widely and stay fiercely curious. But here's the trick. Don't just stay in your lane. Cross-pollinate. Learn things across entirely different disciplines. The absolute best, most innovative ideas happen when you connect concepts from fields that, on the surface, seem totally unrelated. Try to learn something brand new every single day.
An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Think of education and continuous learning not as some chore you have to do, but as an investment. As Benjamin Franklin said centuries ago, it is the one asset that no one can ever take away from you. And it provides an unparalleled, lifelong return on investment. The compounding interest of daily learning is just staggering. Every page you read is literally compounding interest for your future self. Tip 7. Embrace discomfort. But hey, all this knowledge means absolutely nothing if you avoid phase 4, resilience. You have to embrace discomfort. Let's be honest, the comfort zone is a really beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. True growth strictly lives outside of it. Every single time you push through discomfort, whether that's a really hard conversation, a complex project, or a grueling workout, your actual capacity for life expands. Do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt issued such an empowering call to action here. It's a challenge to step right out of the shadows. Confronting your daily fears head-on actually shrinks them. It builds this incredible callus in your mind. Deliberately seeking out that 1% of fear or friction every single day isn't just about facing danger for the sake of it. It is the ultimate proof of the 1% better philosophy. It's what makes you truly unstoppable. Tip 8. Take radical ownership. And that kind of everyday courage, it inevitably leads to taking radical ownership of your life. Now, this requires a massive shift in accountability. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment, the right economy, or a better boss. The real magic in life begins the exact moment you stop blaming external circumstances and start owning all of your outcomes. The brilliant successes, and yes, the really painful failures too. Extreme ownership. Own everything in your world. There are no bad teams, only bad leaders. Jocko Willink's concept of extreme ownership means realizing that there is no one else coming to save you. Real growth begins when blame ends. When you take absolute, radical responsibility for every single aspect of your life, you suddenly gain the absolute power to change it. It's a total game changer. Tip 9. Reflect regularly. This brings us to our final phase, mastery. And the ultimate tool for mastery is regular reflection. Socrates famously said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." You can have all the experiences in the world, but without reflection, raw experience never really solidifies into actual wisdom. Doing a weekly review to honestly assess what worked and what didn't, that is your highest leverage habit for continuous course correction. The transformation phases. 1. Mind and body foundation. 2. Unbreakable execution. 3. Boundary expansion. 4. Radical resilience. 5. Lifelong mastery. Let's just take a quick breath and recap this amazing journey we've mapped out. We started by laying the mind and body foundation, getting our beliefs and our physical health in order. Then, we moved into unbreakable execution through deep work and building systems. From there, we achieved boundary expansion by upgrading our relationships and committing to relentless learning.
We built radical resilience by owning our lives and facing discomfort head-on. And finally, through reflection, we step right into lifelong mastery.
Tip 10. Play the long game. Which brings us to our final, steady, triumphant point. You have to play the long game. In a world totally hooked on instant gratification, impatience is literally the ultimate enemy of greatness. Meaningful growth, whether we're talking about your career, your relationships, or the depth of your own character, it doesn't happen in days or weeks. It happens over years. You have to fall in love with the process of just being 1% better, trusting that the timeline is going to take care of itself. The secret to getting ahead is getting started, then staying started. Mark Twain captures this ethos so perfectly to close out our journey today. Getting started is hard, sure, but staying started, that is the true hallmark of the 1% better mindset. It is a daily, relentless commitment to waking up and choosing growth, over and over and over again. Thank you. Your growth journey is just beginning. So I just want to say a massive thank you for taking this time to invest in yourself with this explainer today. We have covered a lot of ground, from mastering your internal mindset to taking extreme ownership of your external world. But remember, just knowing these 10 tips, that's not enough. Application is literally everything. Subscribe to the 1% Better Club for new videos every week. If you found value in this explainer, hit subscribe, share it with someone in your inner circle who really needs to hear it, and officially join the 1% Better Club. But before you click away, I'm going to leave you with this one provocative question. What is the single, specific action you are going to take today to be exactly 1% better? Think about it. Then, go do it.